happy hauntings, and welcome to our spooky Season 2 episode of the Ghoulie Get Set podcast, an Old Girls Entertainment production.
We're thrilled to be here talking about our wicked experiences as three witches in the TV and film industry.
If you haven't caught on already, this is our Haunted Halloween special where we and several of our ghastly guests share their chilling on-set stories.
So let's get started with one of Jessica's blood-curdling adventures. Take it away, Jessica.
Woo! So I was working on, and I was a PA. I was the first team PA, and we had to drive up. There was a main house, and then side house. What do you say? Like a granny house or whatever? Like
a guest house?
A guest house. Yeah.
A granny house?
I don't know. Don't they call that? Like whenever it's like the mother-in-law house.
Right. Oh, yes.
That's
the mother-in-law suite.
Yes, the mother-in-law suite.
Yes.
So yeah. Anyway, so there was a separate house. We had to go up, and it was this hill. They were on a property, but it was a big sloping hill, and they had a path, but it was a one-way path. So we were having to drive these people up this path, but we had this, they're called gators. They're basically just a little bit, a little bit better of a golf cart.
Are those the ones they drive around on studio lots?
No, that's a proper golf cart.
Okay.
This is I don't know. It has bigger wheels, so it can actually drive on
an ATV
paved
golf cart.
Yeah, okay. It's not a paved, because it wasn't a paved road either. It was soft, I don't know, sand
terrain
type. Yeah.
Okay.
Road, and it was just a path. So we drove them up, and to turn it around, it was a one-way thing. And the gators, they don't have it's not you, I don't know, to reverse it, you have to change the gear, and it's only one thing. It's either forward or backwards, and then everything else you just have to hit the brake. So every time and you're on a little bit of a slope, so every time I don't know, just turn it around to go back and forth, it was so difficult.
Yeah.
And
a 20-point turn.
Yeah, and they would always give a little bit of a little bit of a give. If you didn't have your foot on the brake, it was going forward or backward, whichever way. It was slanting. So
I could not do this job.
Yeah, so even if you had it in reverse and you took your foot off the brake, if it was if the slope was slanting forward, you were still going forward. Do you know what I mean?
Yeah.
So basically it was very dangerous. And I had an A-list actor on the back of it. And it was in the middle of the night. And I really couldn't see anything. And I had other actors on there. I think I had I'm trying to think. One of the other girls and stuff. And it was...
So the leads of this show,
yes.
The series regulars
yes.
of this show.
Wonderful. Of this big HBO show. I had on, and I'm trying to reverse it and get them back down so that they can do a change quickly. And I almost ran him off the road. I had to call another PA to help out, who was oh yeah, I grew up on a farm, I can do this. I'm okay. And she was also I was just she took over, and I was watching, just gritting my teeth and out? Praying that yes.
You're
yes.
End of story, I'm out.
I got out, and end of story, we did turn it around safely, but I was so effing scared. And everyone else on it, because I think you just they couldn't see how close
what
we were to the edge. Yeah. And Talent was just laughing and being this is crazy. Because thankfully they were young stars. It wasn't they were actually, I don't know. I think they just didn't realize how dangerous it was. And they just had PAs, and we tried to get Transpo to help us out, but they were no, I don't know what it was, but they were just we don't have enough drivers or whatever. And we're yeah, but this is scary shit. We need to not do that. Anyways, end of story. We did get them down the hill. Everything was fine. But it was one
terrifying,
of the scariest moments of my life. And this was
yes.
We were filming there for a month. So this happened
multiple times.
Twice. At least twice a week, because we would have night shoots there all the time. So
another moral of the story, if you're from another state where you're used to driving tractors, hey, your special skills could come into play if you're a PA on location.
I mean, listen, she had the confidence that was great, but even afterwards, she was like, that was fucking scary. I'm like, yeah. So yeah, that's story number 1 that I have. The next 2 stories are more like just kind of filming in like haunted locations, which were really cool. So I was working on, and we actually shot in the house that was like the horror story, or the horror house from season 1 of American Horror Story. Yeah. And we were there for like, I think it was 1 day, maybe it was 2 days, I'm not sure. I think it was 1 day. We were there for like 1 day, and the owners were like, oh yeah, like there's a basement and it's supposed to be haunted. And or the location.
So wish I was there. I would have loved it.
It's so cool. Actually, Hannah was on that day.
Yeah, you guys worked together.
Yeah, we like we took a picture, and like we're like, or she took a picture of me being crazy. I think sent it to you. I don't know.
Yeah. She sent it to me with you guys there.
Yeah. Unfortunately, I did not invite her to this private viewing of the basement, but a lot of us like went down to the basement, like Locations Allowed us down there, and showed us around, and they're like, it's haunted, and like you can feel the spirits, like how damp it is. They're like, you can feel it. And I'm like, I'm pretty sure it's just damp because we're underground, but like, sure.
I would have believed it.
I know. Yeah. Well, everyone else was like, oh my gosh, this is so scary. I don't know. I'm one of those people that's like a little skeptical. I'm like, I feel like a lot of these things can't be explained, you know? And
you're like, oh, there's mold growing on there. I think it's just
why.
Damp because there's a leak.
Yeah. I'm like, I wonder why. I think it's just
people are like, there's black mold because the demons are rising from hell. And you're like, okay, well, yeah, you can like, take it that way too.
Yeah, sure. That happens in my shower too. But just kidding. I don't have black mold in my shower. I think it's fine.
More.
Yeah, the demons are gone. I took out my Ouija board and I said, go. But yeah, so we were down there, and it was like interesting, you know, the lights like weren't working, so we were all using our cell phone flashlights, which of course makes it spookier. Mm-hmm. But there was like 5 or 6 of us down there. Like there was a lot of us that went down there for like this small basement, and like it was like interesting only because like I guess American Horror Story left a lot of their props, so they had like jars of like floating heads and stuff down there.
Oh yeah, that would make it creepy.
Yeah. So it was just like, oh cool, look at it. But also, you know, you're on a movie set, and like we're literally on a movie set, so I don't know, it makes it where it's just like, oh, that's a cool way to that. They like, I don't know, it's like
that's a cool fluid that they use to portray this.
Yeah,
like a total nerd,
really break it down.
Like a total cinema nerd.
Exactly. So yeah, there was that, and then the last one I think was like the coolest. We were filming on the Queen Mary for like, I don't know, they were doing like pickup shoots or something for this like one film that was, I don't know what it was. It was like a film that was basically like, I don't know, the brokers were kind of taking over, like the people who lent out the loans, because like the filmmakers were like didn't do well. They like shot it all overseas, and then they like, I don't know, it was just this crazy thing. It was like, yeah, it was really weird. But anyways, it was just like this one day, or I think they shot for like 3 days on the Queen Mary, and I was only there for like the prep day. And I was just like handing out walkies. Well, that job was like really simple and easy and like quick to do. So a lot of the other times I was like wandering around, and I had this set medic that I had worked with before. And she was like, she's very good at like getting what she wants. In terms
we love a female filmmaker who's good at getting what she wants.
Yeah. Yes. But she just like really has a way with like people. And we met this one guy who was like, I think he was a volunteer, or he worked with it or something. He was like, he worked on the Queen Mary as like just like a passion for like 10 years.
It was like a tour guide or something.
Yeah. And he also like upkept it and stuff. Like he was like properly like, I don't know, associated with
one of their staff.
Yeah. And so he ended up taking us on this like super in-depth tour, just me and her, and he would like tell us what was really interesting. He was like, oh, this wood is from Africa, from da 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 da, and like this wood over here was made from, I don't know, some other tree over here, which was crazy because like he really like went in depth in the artistry. And then he also like went through and like told us all the different like stories of people, of like hauntings, or like people who had actually died, because I guess also the Queen Mary like got hit by something. I don't know. I think maybe it was torpedo. I don't know what it was, but it got hit by something. And I'm a really good storyteller, I promise.
We did our research before recording this.
Yeah,
clearly.
It got hit by something in some way, and like a bunch of people ended up like dying because of it. It also like was used, I think, in one of the world wars to like help soldiers like come back to America or whatever. And what he said was, which was like, I think just like, it was just such like a peaceful way of thinking. He was like, yeah, so I mean, a lot of people find these places like haunting and everything and like scary because so many people have like died on this ship. He was like, but the way I look at it is that so many people have died on this ship because so many lives have been on the ship. And like, yeah. And I was like,
it's just going to be a ratio.
Right.
Like things happen because so many people have passed through and have lived on this ship, that transpires.
Right. Exactly. And like, there was one time when I got a little freaked out. We got to go into where the engines were, and it was just like the noise, I think, of like the engines, working and everything, which it was like at port. So it wasn't like actually like moving, but like, they had the lights on and all of that.
You have to run everything.
Right. So, it was like on. They flipped the switch on. But yeah, but it was crazy because you could like, it was just at the bottom of the ship. You could like hear, like it's like the muffling from like the waters around that are like moving, on top of like whatever like the machines are that are working in there. And it was just like a really disorienting kind of feeling, like with the sounds. And it did feel like really, like that's the eerie thing that kind of it was eerie, and it kind of got my heart racing a little bit just because like, I don't know. And there was also like something that happened where like a sailor got caught in a door or something and died down there too. So that also was like, didn't help. I like, this is kind of freaky sort of thing. Yeah.
We just found Jess's threshold. Paranormal belief.
Well, I mean, it was just one of those things where it was just like, I don't know. It felt so disorienting, and it was like very like, I don't know, a lot of
on your senses, very like sensory overload.
Exactly. And then on top of that, then there was like also this like random story of like a door randomly closing on a soldier, and like he died slowly and whatever.
Being trapped in here, and you're like, okay, let's get me out.
Yeah, exactly.
Let's get back up there.
Exactly. So, but yeah, it was like a really cool tour and thing to, I don't know. And film sets are cool like that. You get to like film with all these like weird places that have like hauntings and everything, or supposed hauntings. So it's pretty cool. But that's my horror story, or 3 horror stories, I guess I should say.
That's cool.
Yeah.
Good ones. I'm going to be honest. I would love to film at a haunted location. I thoroughly believe in mostly everything.
Yeah.
And that would be the best. I would be horrified and terrified, but I mean, it would just feed into the project, I think.
Yeah, it's pretty fun. But not so fun stuff. We have Kelsey next. She has 2 frightfully cringy and dangerous stories, and she is our fave sound engineer. Let's take it away, Kelsey Nye. Kelsey, give me a little set horror story, whether it be, like you said, safety or a haunted or whatever.
Okay.
Let's hear it.
Okay, I'm going to set the scene for you. Picture you and 14 other crew members and cast members have just been driven to the mountains in a Hummer limo at probably too fast of a speed, so everyone's like a little bit nauseous. And they come upon this cabin, and they say, for the next 6 days, we're all going to live in this cabin together and shoot a feature film. And I know 6 days doesn't seem like enough time to shoot a feature film, but we're different, and we figured it out, and the industry like made the wheel wrong, and like we've got it. And also, this is a horror film we're shooting. So there will be blood. Yes, and it's like one of the dumb horror films where somehow there has to be like more sex involved than you would expect.
Yeah,
this is before the days of
intimacy coordinators, which
and,
is a horror in itself.
Yeah. Just side note, now this is getting a little like sillier than horror, but 2 of the actors were also exes and had
tensions were high.
Yeah. So that was a weird day where you could tell no one wanted to be doing what they were doing. And this is an advocation for intimacy coordinators, because the assistant director and the director, I think, were like, you could tell that they were pushing for things that people were clearly not comfortable with. But use that in the atmosphere building, okay? Everything's really uncomfortable. Everyone feels uncomfortable. And we start shooting this horror movie about people like slowly getting picked off at a cabin, and all the crew members, we basically get to sleep for like 4 or 5 hours a night in the rooms where we just shot people being murdered.
Oh my God.
And then you like wake up and you do it again. And after day 3, everyone's like a little disoriented, feeling a little sick and a little crazy. And you have no sense of like time because you're just shooting whenever. And a BTS crew shows up and starts filming us, and in my like frenzied state I start like expecting us to slowly get the crew members to slowly get picked off one by one, start disappearing, and then the real movie was them showing the like psychological horror of being on this small production, and then the BTS people would watch us. The nice version would be if they like, just snuck us away and be like, you can go home now. Sorry that like you had to be here.
In that case, it would be best to be picked off first, so you could go home sooner.
But like if they were going full docu style, just like put all the animals in a cage and see what we like do, because everyone actually trauma bonded a lot, so we wouldn't hurt each other, but it did feel like, I don't know. I immediately started having visions of like, are we in a horror movie?
Yeah.
Are they filming it right now? Are we going to die? So I feel like I didn't build the dread. But just know that it felt that way. You don't know how awful things feel until like you haven't slept.
Yeah.
And then everything.
Well, that's the whole thing, right? Is like it's the lack of sleep, which happens on films anyways, but like even union films, but yeah. Dang.
And then this is a shorter but maybe better story, is like just for shock value. My first feature, it was my second feature. I was 2 really terrible like safety mistakes happened. One was we had like a blank in a gun, and the actor just, I don't know why this happened. I'm like booming from next to the camera, but not right at camera, and the actor like needs something to lock onto, I guess, that's not right down the barrel. So like every take, no matter where I went, I felt like he was pointing the gun at me.
Oh my God.
I was like really freaked out, and he fired it, and I was close enough that I just got the like bam, that like hit of all the like shit that comes out of the gun.
Oh my God.
And like I guess this is the horror part of it, is because I was so green and so just like, you just gotta take it. I was like, what, like didn't say, hey, I don't like you shooting guns at me. I was just like, all right, here we are making this movie.
Oh my God. That is like actually, especially knowing the Russ shooting that just happened. Like not too long ago. I mean, that's like actually properly scary. And I feel like that's, any haunted scary that comes up, I feel like is always going to be a little like, a little silliness to it. But like the proper scary is like safety scary. Like that's what I feel like.
Yeah. And then it's like, the added level is just the belief that you feel uncomfortable even before the like bad thing happens, but you just like don't feel like you can say it, and then you're like trapped in that awful feeling. And then a bad thing happens and you're like, I knew it, I thought that was going to be bad. And then same production, we're out in Colorado and we're in a truck. The director, actor, producer is driving the truck, and we're in like a snowbed situation. And in the back of the truck is one of those trailer inserts. So like a little RV, like camping setup that goes in the truck bed. And so I'm in the back there, like mixing, and I run microphones into the bed of the cabin of the truck. And the director got just kind of like too into the scene. Director, actor, and so he like flips the truck basically. Like not a dramatic flip, but we're in the snowbed, so he gets it up on the edge and then the truck falls onto its side. And number one, I'm in this truck bed thing like loose with no seatbelt or anything.
Yeah.
And we fall slowly, but I don't have windows either. So it's kind of like,
disorienting.
I don't know what's happening.
Yeah.
And like, I remember like going to the other side of the truck as if like I could weight it back down to the thing. And because this was a production where like everyone was just flying so loose, I don't think they even had a thought of this being a possibility.
Yeah.
So there was no like plan for it. So even when bad things happened, we couldn't even manage them properly. Like people went over to the actors in the cab and were like rushing them out, but they forgot I was in there. And so like I was, and like my memory of it is that I couldn't get out of it had like a little back door,
Yeah.
window. And so I'm like banging on the like glass window and I'm fine. I'm not injured, but I'm like really freaked out.
Yeah.
And like, I don't have a walkie. I have no communication with anybody. And I'm just like stuck in a sideways trailer, like knocking on the window. And eventually somebody came, but it was like in that moment of panic, I was like, oh my gosh, like film is terrifying. Nobody takes care of you. And you have to just like.
And this was one of your first few jobs, huh?
Yeah.
Oh gosh. Yeah. Oh my gosh. That's so scary. Which is why safety is so important on set. Because like you're capturing these like weird things, like, you know, like, I don't know, you're capturing these like, I don't know, these weird things that most people probably aren't doing on the daily. Dang. Okay, well, I don't know how to end it, but thanks so much for sharing these stories. I hope now that we're on union sets, hopefully there's definitely more regulation and everything.
Yeah. But I've noticed like a big night and day difference. And I mean, even if I just feel safer on the union sets, knowing that even if like some crazy thing happens, there's all the infrastructure there to take care of you, you know?
Yeah.
So,
yeah, definitely.
The takeaway from this, I think, is to always use your voice, as long as you have one. When you feel like you need to run from a situation, run. Let someone know, but run.
Well, speaking of running, make sure you can see where you're going. Because I think, Mo, you have a piercing story about something like this, right?
I sure do. So one of my on-set horror stories, not necessarily my story, so I'm going to leave out the person's name, but I was very much a part of it. So we were producing a project together. It was the first time that this team had produced together. It was lower budget, but it was still like close to 30 grand. So still like a lot of money involved in it. Was a one-day shoot out in the desert, and we wrapped. We wrapped at the end of the night. Everyone was so excited about wrapping and getting the fucking wrap photo. And me and my friend were like, guys, we have to pack up. Like, we're losing light. We like didn't bring light, only like headlights of cars. We had about 8 cars there. Everyone's turning on their headlights. They're like, oh my God, let's try and get a good photo, blah, blah, blah. Let's get everybody in here. I don't even think we were in the photo because we were like, we have to pack up so much. We had
you're like in the background with all the things
all
in your hand.
Yeah. We were like, we can't leave anything behind. Like, we have major
like Sasquatch in the background.
There's a sighting. Because we were producers on it, but it was very much all hands on deck. Like, we're also acting as PAs, like capacity. We had a bathroom trailer that needed to be loaded onto a car and transported. We had trash that needed to be taken out. Like, we're moving, like, we had a hair and makeup tent, all this stuff, crafty station. And everyone's just like, come on, let's get a photo. Meanwhile, we lose light. So we're out there with just the car lights on, trying to pack up everything, trying to make sure we don't lose any equipment that we have to return. Me and my friend are dragging this like trash can. And because there's no light, we don't see, like, we're standing on like shards of wood or something. A shard of wood comes up and goes through her Achilles.
Oh my God.
I mean, it was like probably an inch or so, but that's pretty big to get in there.
Yeah. And like getting out like splinters.
It didn't come out. There's pieces there still in
her
in her foot. And so thankfully we had insurance. We went to workers' comp. We had a first aid kit there. So I like did as much first aid as I could, but like Also, she was fucking pissed, and I was fucking pissed, and I felt bad. I was dragging this trash can with her,
one
and
more thing.
she got hurt, and I didn't.
Yeah.
One more thing. Yeah, it was just like, guys, like, we were telling you, like, we needed to pack up, and because first of all, no one was helping us pack up. Everyone else was just, like, too excited that we wrapped, and we're just, I mean, you just got to think big picture. Like, you know, let's go for a drink after everything is packed and, like, take a photo somewhere, but, like, it just wasn't safe to do that, and it wasn't a good decision, and my friend got hurt, and it fucking sucks.
Damn. What a gory ending.
Yes.
On that note, here's another bone-shattering on-set story from Jessica.
Okay. So my next horror story, which I tend to have a lot, weirdly enough. So I was a background PA. I was helping, I was leading the background. It was a day that we had, like, I don't know, a handful of background, but it was a tight day, daylight dependent, lots of high intense situations, whatever. So we're bringing in these background. I'm sending a lot of them up to set, but we're missing like one background performer who was like dressed up as a cop. And I'm still in base camp, and I'm like, I guess this guy like locked his keys in the car, or something happened where he was like wandering around base camp / the parking lot. And so we were like I was trying to find him. He was like the last missing piece of the puzzle. And we, of course, too, we don't have like any signal, walkie signal, like from base camp to our actual set. And our like phone signal was pretty weak as well. So I'm like, not even sure. I'm like, did he travel? Like, I don't understand. Like, I'm looking around the parking lot. I went into like the hair and makeup trailer to see if he was like in there or something, like getting a cut or whatever. And I come out of it, and like there's gopher holes all over this base camp. And our locations wasn't the best on this certain shoot. And they like, normally what you do if there's like gopher holes is like you put like cones
over
in
them.
it or over them. Right. So that way people can see. Well, I'm like texting like furiously, like looking for this one cop, and I'm like, just as like, the most like chaotic background PA you've ever seen, like running around base camp trying to find this fucking guy. And of course I step into a gopher hole. This wasn't just any gopher hole though. This one when I went in, because I fell into a proper hole, it went up to my knee. That's how far down. And I right away realized, I'm like, fuck, like I've hurt myself. I like hobble over to the AD trailer, which thankfully was like not too far away, but like properly hobbling over. My ankle's like fully swollen. They call the medic from set and like bring him over. I basically, long story short, I'm out for like 3 or 4 months because of this damn.
When was this?
It was for. That's whenever you had me watching Henry.
Oh yeah.
And so the joke the entire time.
Story.
Yes. So whenever I like, then of course coming back to work, because I was staffed on. So eventually like I got back. It was a really, really, really bad sprain. It was like my foot was fucking massive, and blue and purple all over. But when I finally come back, of course, every single time, like. On the walkie, our like key PA would be like, all right, we're on a new location. Jessica, be careful. Don't fall into any holes. They started saying that I was the little baby Jessica that fell down the well. My background, we had some core background. I just got a text from someone that said, hey, your sign's up, because they're on set and it says, be careful of gopher holes. So basically I became the girl that fell into the hole. I was like Alice in Wonderland of the freaking set.
And implemented major signage changes.
Yeah. Well, honestly, thank God I was a PA and not like the lead, like of our freaking like our number one. Because what could have been like the worst would be like, I don't know, head of department or something. Because I mean,
I didn't know gopher holes got that big.
Well, I mean, I don't know if it was it was just it was a mess. I don't know. It was just it was like the biggest hole I've ever seen. And it was just like outside the makeup trailer. Like I stepped down and stepped over, and there it was.
Insane that someone else didn't fall down it.
Yeah, I mean, thank God it was me, right? And not someone else.
I mean, no, it shouldn't have been anyone.
No, it shouldn't have been anyone. I mean, yeah, that's the big thing. And of course, like the minute I step out, because like they our transpo like took me to like an ER or urgent care or whatever. And the minute I like step out of the AD trailer, I like look over and like all of a sudden all the cones are up because they're like, you know, oh, we can't have another person get hurt. I was so annoyed. Horror. From ditches to spirits in the air, here's our friend and sound utility, Rocio, with her on location story.
I remember one time we were shooting in Simi Valley. And it was in this nice, like, big mansion. It looked like a ranch. The weather was so bad. Like, we were shooting indoors, but everyone's equipment was outside. It started thunder, lightning. It was sprinkling. It was super windy. And I was just like, this is bad. This is bad. And then we had an umbrella in our utility cart.
Mm-hmm.
I step away to go get like something. And then I just start seeing the tents fly. Like a tent flew. It literally flew over. It was like the hair and makeup tent just flew over and it started dragging. And like the PAs caught it. And next thing you know, I see the sound cart. The umbrella just completely flips over and it flew up. And I was like, where is it going? and then like me and the, like some other PAs, we like ran. We're like, where did the umbrella go? And it's like, it's down there. It's down there. And there was like a little cliff with like plants and cactuses. And the umbrella was just stuck upside down. And I was just like,
oh my god,
how am I going to get that? And we had to stop. Like, the AD was like, all right, everyone, we're going to stop right now. We're going to stop because we had lights outside.
It was like
so
all hands on deck.
Yeah, and so they shut the lights off. Everyone just ran in. And the sound mixer was outside too, and he ran in with his like sound cart. And I was just
well,
like,
if it's lightning, you have to like stop. Like, I think it's like for 45 minutes or I don't know, some sort of like stupid amount of time.
Yeah.
If it's like within so much distance.
Yeah,
That's what it's like at the pool too. We have to shut down for 30 minutes, and every time it's thunder or lightning, we reset the clock and it starts for another 30 minutes.
Yeah,
I'm sure it's like similar.
It's probably the same thing.
Yeah, so I remember like it was like lightning, but it wasn't like super bright. It was like in a distance you would see it, but the thunder was loud. Like it was loud and it was sprinkling. It was super windy. It was funny because I was like, how are we gonna get the umbrella? Like our equipment's gonna get wet. And then we called the locations guy, and he basically said that one of the PAs could go and get it. And I was like,
go search through the cactuses.
But it's like it's like, you know, it's like so steep. And then at the end, one of the site reps ended up going and getting the umbrella.
Yeah, don't freaking sacrifice a PA for that.
I was like, oh,
no.
I was like, okay. But that was funny, just because everything just started flying around.
Always weight down your canopies with sandbags, please.
Yes.
Please.
Most times you can plan for the weather, but you can't plan for everything. Here's Hannah's startling pre-production stories. All right, so Hannah, what are your horror stories?
Scary. Sad production stories. Yeah.
Just keeps going.
Yeah, I think some of my personal horror stories are like pre-production things that happen. And from my experience, like usually it's like pre-production can go fairly smoothly. Like you get your bumps in the road and things you have to figure out, and then production's crazy. But this last one we did, the week before production was supposed to start was insane. So our location was supposed to be set out in the desert at a very specific kind of house. Yeah, we wanted like a futuristic deserty house, but like we needed big windows, and it had to really be all these specific things. And so we got this one spot through kind of like an Airbnb website, but not Airbnb. And we were supposed to start on Friday, check in on Friday.
We had this booked a month or two in advance.
Like
more.
if not
like,
more.
Yeah.
Like two plus months in it.
Everything was great.
And like no one had heard, we had tried to contact the owners and no one had heard from them. And I've had these kind of places cancel on me before. However, I kind of just forgot. I just didn't even think that was a possibility.
No, we did an instant book. It was supposed to be fine.
It was supposed to be.
And like I've had them cancel on us, but like months and months in advance, or like a
Right.
few days after because there was a
Right.
glitch in the system and they caught it or whatever.
Yes.
But
this was, we had it booked for so long. We're like, okay, the shot list is surrounding basically how this is built. Like everything is surrounding about how this home was built. And so we're like, okay, we're ready to go. We shoot on Friday. The Tuesday before shooting, it fucking, you can bleep that out, canceled. It fucking canceled on us.
like Tuesday evening. Too.
Yeah,
It
and it was like,
it was basically Wednesday. It was basically like 2 days before.
yeah,
No,
and
I
it
think
was
Wednesday because Phoebe was already.
It was less than 48 hours notice, for
Yeah,
sure.
because we already flew out. Like there was no way we were going to cancel because Phoebe's flight was already out. She was already here, and she was flying out
okay.
on Wednesday. So it was Wednesday.
So it was Wednesday.
Wednesday evening.
Wednesday evening.
Gosh.
And mind you, I was like sick as a dog leading up to this, and I had no voice, and I was just like, like I just wanted to sleep before I had to go out into the desert and shoot for a couple days. But I was just like, okay. I was like very calm. I was like, okay, it canceled. What can we do here? And it was like in our budget and all these things. Luckily, grace of God, we got a little influx of money, and we were able to find something very like different from what we first had, but it kind of still checked all the boxes, and we were able to fix it. So that's like just like producing 101 is shit like that. But
And then
once we solidified that, we're like, okay, we have this new place. We're going to have to adjust. It's a couple hours away from the other spot, whatever. The Thursday night. So we're leaving in the morning. We're supposed to pick up all the equipment Friday morning. Thursday night, I get a message from one of the rental houses we're renting from. And they're like, hey, we're canceling. We're canceling
it was like our
your monitors.
Yeah.
So the director monitor and the DP's monitor, so they can see what's going on. And they're like, hey, we're canceling. And at this point, I'm having a glass of wine with the writer of this, the writer and the EP of the film at her home. And I was just like,
Nightmare.
I was like, we were so close. We were so close. And so I'm talking to them, and the guy was just like, yeah, it came back broken. We can't rent it out, blah, blah, blah. It was a whole thing.
Luckily,
our DP, he was like, wait, which rental house is this from? And somehow he knows the guy, and he like went around the system and was like, just negotiated out the butt, which was amazing. And then we were able to get it with some like conditions and stuff. But holy cow, I was just like, I just want to like go home. Like I just want to sleep.
Yeah, it was a lot of like, it was just all so last minute.
Yeah,
Like,
it was very last minute.
This happens, things cancel, like okay, whatever. So, but it was like the fact that it was like all of that sort of stuff was like 48 hours in advance. Like if you were someone who was like, who believed in signs, those would probably be signs to like cancel. But like,
No, and I do believe in signs.
Yeah.
And I was just like,
you did bring it up. I was like, we're not doing it. We can't.
No.
You were like, I mean, maybe.
I was like, maybe we push it, but like, as you said, like Phoebe was already out here.
Mhm.
If she wasn't, if it was like literally maybe 2 days before, I'd be like, we should look into like other options.
Right.
But
Yeah, we had a crew member. What was she, first AD?
Sorry,
sorry,
a
AC.
gaffer.
Oh, gaffer. Sorry.
Mhm.
Bleep that
yeah,
out.
she was.
Yeah, so she's a gaffer for production, got flown out, and our DP has very limited availability. So
Yeah.
we probably wouldn't have been able to do it till next year.
Yeah, exactly. So
Yeah, so it was nuts. So
it was crazy, so crazy.
it was
But
fun.
then the shoot was like,
But
smooth
it
as
was
hell.
literally the chillest shoot we've ever had. But somehow we lost a sandbag, literally one sandbag, and we had no equipment. Like we had such a minimal shoot, and we
Yeah.
lost one sandbag, and now I'm still dealing with that lost sandbag with the guy. We're doing some weird back and forth. But But yeah, good times. No, it was the chillest production
Yeah.
we've had.
So
After a nightmare of pre-production.
Yeah,
For the
nightmare.
just the week leading, just a few days leading up.
no, like one of those things where if like the pre stuff goes awry, then you're probably fine come production day.
Yeah.
That's usually how it works.
Everyone else is fine. I know. I was like all stressed and everyone was like, okay, we got it. I was ADing the project and I had nothing to do. Like I had some stuff to do, but you guys were on top of it.
That was like one thing is like thankfully we had our best people. Like our actor dancer, she was freaking killed it, which was the only person that we hadn't like worked with before in some capacity. We auditioned her and everything, but she was like so skilled and just like came out with like a amount of like confidence that was just like, yeah, I got this. And I was like, okay.
Yeah.
Cool.
She
And then our
needed
DP
like
task.
no direction.
Yeah.
You would like be like, oh, maybe do this. And it was just like,
And then it was done.
yeah, I was like, okay.
Yeah.
So far, these stories have been sweetly terrifying. But this next one's an everyday horror story that many of us can relate to all too well.
I think my biggest horror story on set is the main reason why I joined SAG.
Perfect. Let's hear
Perfect.
it.
Yeah. So I was the lead in this feature. It was like my first feature. And I was SAG eligible. And the other actors in it were already SAG. I was working 12-hour days, for I think it was a total of like 20-something days, but it was like a month-long shoot. And I was there for 12 hours a day, at least 5 days a week, sometimes 6. And I became friends with the costume designer because we went to colleges that were very close by. We had mutual friends. And he's like, hey, they just had me deliver a check to the other actor on set. Do you want to know how much he's making? And I was like, sure. And it was for his 8 days, and he worked more than 8 days, but like only for 8 days, what this check was for, or 7 days or something like that, like a week. His check was over 3 times my total amount.
Oh my! And how many days were you on? And you were the lead,
Almost 30,
right?
and I was the lead working 12-hour
Was he
days.
a name?
He was no, not really. He was working 4 to 6 hour days.
Oh my God.
Yeah. And his amount for 1 week was 3 times my total amount for the whole shoot.
Love the horror stories of inequality.
Yeah. And I was like, fuck this.
Yeah.
There was a name on it with me, but this wasn't like a name. Like
Yeah.
he'd done a couple things, but not like crazy. And so I was like, fuck this.
Yeah.
And then also,
because I could understand, like, if someone's going to bring in the commercial appeal, like, they just have, like, their
yeah,
agents
of
or whatever,
course,
right? Like,
of
there's certain, like,
course.
there are certain, like, things that, like, you can factor in. But, like, clearly this person didn't have, like, any of those things. So,
To my knowledge, no. I don't think
Yeah.
it was sold for distribution, though. It, like, was in talks of being sold for distribution. But
still.
So I was like, okay, I'm not going to be SAG out. Literally, like the next day, I'm like, oh, I'm paying for SAG. I'm joining now. I've been eligible for like 2 years, and I'm just going to do it because this isn't okay.
Yeah.
And I mean, not really like the filmmaker's fault. Like I signed a contract. I said yes to the amount that they gave me. Like that, the other contracts is what they negotiated. So I think it's so important that we talk about pay because people should know what other people are making, because if you don't know, you don't know, and you're going to be lowballed, and people are, and you're never going to know what the norm is until you research.
Right. I also just think if like you have the money, like pay your lead, like pay the people, you know what I mean? Like it should be based off of like, the leads or heads of departments or whatever it is.
And it was like exhausting. I was in every scene. I was doing stunts. I was... it was a lot, and I'm so thankful for the experience, but I learned a shit ton. Another thing is like a separate instance, someone had me write down different times for my start and end time on a SAG form, and they're like, oh, I know you worked a little bit over 12 hours today, but then we get billed and it doesn't affect you getting paid at all. So if you could just sign out at this time, that'd be helpful.
So like he's standing over me as I'm signing out, and he's like, I'll sign out for you, don't worry about it. And then the next future days I was just like, no, I'm gonna sign out at my end time, and this is what it is.
Mhm.
And then sure enough, I got checks from SAG. I mean, they were small. They were like $20 or something, but it's like, here's this amount because they
But that
worked you
adds
over. But it adds up, and I'm like, fuck, on all those other days when you said like, no, I'll sign out for you. Yeah.
Yeah.
So just like shady stuff like that. Like if it feels shady, it probably is shady. And
Mhm.
just do the best that you can to advocate for yourself. I was super young. Like I said, my first feature as a lead. But just like taking care of yourself and talking to people. Because
Mhm.
like, wasn't that person's place to tell me what someone else was making? No, but it was, it's good information to know and to have confidential, friends who will tell you that like you are being lowballed and
Yeah.
like you're worth more.
Yeah.
So that's the reasoning why I joined SAG when I did.
Damn. That is a horror story.
It
Thanks for
sure
sharing.
is. Yeah, that really sucked the life out of me. Let's bring some life back into our final story of our Halloween episode. Hannah and Jess deal with a plethora of frightful and hilarious occurrences as PAs. Jess and Hannah, bring it home.
So I was a background PA, and we had a shoot for a show that I worked on, and it was like a 3-day shoot, and it was in Agua Dulce, which is just a little bit, I think more like north/east of Santa Clarita, which is where we would normally shoot.
Yeah.
But it was where the Nope set.
Yeah. Nope,
that's where they would shoot.
The movie Nope was shot up there. So
Yeah.
it's that kind of landscape.
Yeah. So we were up there. Basically, like the storyline was there was like, I don't know, a gala type party, and then like a bomb goes off or whatever. And so we shot, the first day was a night shoot, and it was like a split day. So we had like people come in, they got all like, they had these like gowns on, and then they got like bloodied up, right? And then we had like 100 background, and then there were also like different like groups of background as well. We had like people who were supposed to be like protesters there and everything and all this stuff. And basically the first day we were super understaffed. It was like a weirdly challenging type of like set where like base camp was just like a little bit below, and then like on a dirt path or whatever, and then the actual set was like up above. And like, again, not like it wasn't like far or anything, but with people who are like wearing heels, like walking up a dirt path, like it's not accessible. And we had like all ages. We had some people with like who are like slower walkers and everything as well. But basically that day we came in, it was crazy, it was very cold, because it was like, I think it was like in the winter, because we were gonna go on break like this was like our last like 3 days before.
So this was like in early December, maybe.
Yeah, it was, I think maybe November. Yeah, December, I think was what it was. And we go, and our main actor ends up like, not our main number one or anything, but our actor who was like, it was like his scene sort of thing, like it was going to be a big emotional arc for him, ended up getting COVID. So we were like, okay, let's shoot as much as we can around him. He had COVID like earlier in the week, but I guess he was still like pretty symptomatic and like not feeling well. So we're like, we'll shoot as much as we can like around him, and like, we'll keep pushing him until hopefully he like is good towards the end of the week. And so we're shooting around. So that was like number one, the weird thing. And then number two, we had 2 background people who ended up getting drunk on set. And
oh my god,
yeah, background holding was down by base camp in just a bunch of tents, open tents.
And that was a big issue too, because it was
so
cold and it was like muddy and stuff, and it was just tense, and like everyone was freezing,
and they were
in
like backless dresses and stuff,
Yeah.
And I mean, the daytime wasn't too bad because the sun was out and everything, so it was okay. But at night, the minute it turned nighttime, it was bad. But yeah, we had these like 2 background artists that ended up getting drunk. One, like, we can't hold him because like otherwise it's like false imprisonment, so we can't like take away car keys, but we can be technically like liable, if something happens. But somehow one got away and like drove off. The other one
They
held,
were like blitzed. They
Yes.
weren't just like, oh, we're drinking.
yeah.
They were drunk.
Yeah.
Like,
The other one,
No.
we like waited out for a while, and somehow she was still drunk. She must have still been drinking, or something was happening. And like, and it wasn't like a weird like medication thing or whatever, something like they could smell the alcohol, our set medic. But she was like still drunk by the end of the night. So what they had Transpo take her to a hotel, our PA drive her car behind it. So again, we're short staffed. We have like now one PA gone, doing that. And then I had another instance where like someone wasn't comfortable with like the script and like being portrayed as like a protester for whatever it was, but it wasn't like anything. I didn't necessarily really get it, but I think there's miscommunication going on. But
and it's also
either
like
way,
background, and are you going to be seen
Yeah, exactly.
at all?
And it wasn't.
And you got hired as a protester.
Yeah, they do
Yeah.
tell you.
And
They
what's
do
happening.
tell
accepted
you
it.
what you're gonna.
And
Yeah.
you have no lines.
Yeah.
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 Wow,
But
interesting.
either way, they like didn't feel comfortable, so they ended up like leaving, like nicely. It was like a conversation. It was like, because it was like it was a decent conversation. But either way, another thing we had to deal with.
Right.
We had waves of background coming in throughout the day. And then at night it got down to like 30 degrees.
Jeez.
And we had we were like, we can't have them bring their jackets up to set because it's like an open set and there was like no place to put them. And I was like, this isn't unacceptable. Like basically our AD team like completely like failed, honestly, like the way that particular night, like all the PAs, we like sat down with our first and we were like, hey, we wanted to help you as much as we could, but like we just like there was a miscommunication. There was like problems with XYZ.
No heaters.
I mean, we eventually got heaters up, but then we would like put up these tents like that were not on camera. But then we would have like next thing we turn around, the grips would be taking them down because they're like, well, we have to get our truck in here to pack up. And we're like, we're not even done with the scene. What are you talking about? So it was like this whole situation. It was like, it was so bad. We were so pissed off like as a team because we were like doing lots of labor. We were getting pulled in every direction. And like, it was just the worst. Anyways, that day ends. It was a shit show. And we talk with our AD, we tell her about it, and like, we make a plan for the next day, like to, go through and everything's gonna be better. The next day comes around, our actor is still sick, we're still trying to work around, or no, I think that's what it was. We like, our actor was still sick, so we're working around day 2, or maybe he was still sick and we shot everything that we could, and so we were like ended up going to stages. I can't remember.
There was one day that I was there. I don't think he was there.
Okay.
There was one day I was there that was like December, and then that was like the last day you guys were there.
Okay. So
and then we
that's
like
what it was.
went on break for a little while, and then
Okay.
I
so
came
then
back like a couple months later.
Yes. Okay. So you were there day 2 then. So we were shooting. Yeah. So
Yeah, because everyone was like, "Oh my god, it was so bad."
Yeah.
Because it was like a Friday or something, and I came on Monday. It was something like that. Like you guys had a couple of days, but like it was your second day.
Thanks. Yes. Okay.
Yeah.
So refreshing. So yeah, he still wasn't good. We ended up doing like moving our shoot to a different day, but we still had 2 more days to shoot out. So we came back like the following week or whatever it was. And that day, I think that's when we got our background in a bar.
Yeah.
Right? Which was like available the whole time. I don't know why we weren't able to do that before.
Yeah. So we were putting them in holding. There was just kind of like a really old school, kind of like Western strip mall, I guess.
Yeah.
And there was like a bar in it that the owner was like, oh yeah, they can sit in here and have heating and a TV. And it was not huge, but it was
and
big.
It was dressed up like Christmas.
Yeah, it was like very cute and cozy. And we were just like, oh, we could have like done this the whole time.
Yeah.
But
Thanks, locations.
yeah, that's when I came on.
Yeah.
And there's like still 100 background, and I was helping Jess with background.
Mhm.
And so I was very much just trying to like alleviate anything.
Thankfully.
Because she was just, going through it a little bit.
Yeah,
so I was
the
just trying to like
thing.
help and alleviate. And there was this one background artist. You get people from all backgrounds, literally, like all backgrounds, all ages. You don't know what you're gonna get. And there was one older gentleman that seemed to have a little bit of a hard time walking. you know, and
older,
we're-
not like he's in his 50s. Like older is like he's in his 70s, 80s, I think.
70s probably,
Yeah.
But he was like there. He was like
Yeah.
sharp mentally and
Really sharp mentally.
Yeah. And he really like he wanted to be on set and whatever. And so he's doing his thing, but it's a tricky set. Like what we were saying, the location, it's like all dirt. It's like these hills and there's holes everywhere. So you got to be careful. But I see this guy and we're trying to get everyone in. We need to start the day. And he's like still over getting breakfast, which was so far away from where background holding was and where the set was. And he walks so slow. So I was just like, I see him. I know everyone else is okay. And I was like, all right, let me just help him. And I'm like carrying stuff for him. I'm like, hey, what's up? And he's like, oh, yeah, thank you so much. And I was like, yeah, we just got to get you up here. He's like, oh, but I need things. Like he kept like needing shit like from his car and asking like, do I need to get any more makeup? I'm like, you should have already been in makeup. How were you at breakfast for an hour and a half?
Yeah.
Like it was like one of those things that you're like, wait, what's going on here? And then I'd help him, but then I was like, we really need to get here.
Yeah.
And so, you know, helping him do whatever he needed to do, but he was just kind of like, it seemed like running the clock. And then there's a couple times he's like, I just want to be like closer to camera or whatever. Like once we finally got going and like,
but we were matching what was happening the day before. So it was like, you got to match. Like,
yeah, exactly. It's like you stay where you are. It's fine. And then as we could, we like wouldn't put him in because he started to be a pain in the ass, not because he was slow, but he would be like copying an attitude and be like taking us away from what we really needed to be working on.
Yeah. And the day before,
just being
I
a
remember,
distraction.
Yeah. The day before, I remember him like trying to chat with me, and like I'm down for chats, but the thing is like the PAs, we have a walkie in our ear, we have people talking to us, we have other jobs, like, and I like love to chit chat with but like most people get it when they're like, someone's calling me in my ear. Like,
yeah,
I have to, like,
and honestly, that group of background, there's a lot of really cool people that we would chat with, and they'd be like, "Go, you're busy. Go, do your thing."
Yeah.
Like they were all really cool.
Yeah.
But he, slowly throughout the day, was just getting more and more like irritated about just anything, and he would be talking to us, and we would literally be like, "I can't right now."
Yeah.
Right, and he would just be like mad at that, which is that's ridiculous on set. Like that's so weird.
We all have jobs to do.
Yeah. It's like, I'm sorry, I can't just like talk to you right now. And so that became a thing. And then he would be like, I have to go to my car, which was so far away from set. And then he would like stay there for like an hour. And we're like, where is this guy? He was in the last shot. So we have to go find him. And it was just adding more and more time.
And then we cut him early.
Yeah, we cut him early because we were like, we need to get him out of here.
And the night before, I waited an hour and a half for him to change out of his costume and come sign out.
Yeah.
And I was like, I'm not. And he was like arguing with me as like when his out time was. I was like, you are 30, 40 minutes past the last person that was out, and we cut you earlier. So no, I'm not putting you down. Where were you? And he was like, well, I was getting out of shit. I was like, no. Like, you were not here for an hour and a half. You are 40 minutes past the last person that was out, and they got cut like half hour. And where were you?
And the thing is, it's like, yeah, he was moving slow. However,
but it was
a PA. No, but a PA saw him just like sitting in his car at one point, like doing nothing.
Yeah.
Like just like running time. He was like, oh, I need my shoes. And then he just went and like sat in his car.
Yeah.
And we're like,
buddy.
And like, we would be like, oh, we'll walk with you so we can keep eyes. And he'd be like, no. And we're like, no, dude. And so he's getting more and more mad. And he was like getting mad at Jessica because she was like laying down the law finally.
Because I already had a day with him.
But then he would like come up to me and be like, I don't want the AD team and production to not think I'm doing a good job, and I want to be called back. And if this is
do a good job,
and he's like, if this is gonna like hurt my
because I have a problem
career or whatever, he's like, if this is gonna hurt my career or whatever. And I'm like, I think at one point I was like, the fact that you're even still like talking to me about this is going to hurt your career. I said something along the lines of that. Yeah, I was just like, if you keep this going, it's making it worse for you. Like, just like move it along, you know? Like, get changed. Like, don't sit here and talk to me for 30 minutes. And then, like, he started getting weirdly stern with us. That was the thing. He'd kind of start yelling at us, and we're
give us attitude and be like, you need me here. I'm just like, well, yeah, you're about. That's where. Yes.
Yeah, it was so weird, and so that was like it was just such a mess. It was so annoying. Yeah, and then we were basically just like, at the end of the day, let's not call him back. Yeah, we do not want him. Cut to a couple months later, a month later.
And let me talk about this. Yeah, the fact that it was a month later, it was going to be its own
episode this whole day.
The stories of Agua Dulce, the hauntings of Agua Dulce. More horror than Nope, basically. Yeah. But yeah, we tried to get back to this location. The first time we got rained out. The second time it was like all like sand basically, or like dirt. So like
it was so muddy.
We couldn't do it. And then the second time we tried to go, we got wind out because we had like these like tarps up, and like it would have been like blowing. So that we scheduled this so much.
That was such a crazy day.
1 actor, 2 rained out, 3 winded out. I don't know. I think maybe there was another time that we couldn't go for some whatever reason, but it was insane. But yeah,
places cursed.
Months and months later.
So we're
cursing Agua Dulce.
And they like call me. They need extra hands, so they call me to come back. And
thankfully, it's the last day.
Yeah, same scene.
Really
last
chill.
Day. Guess who's fucking there? This background. And I was like, how did we not? I was like, I know I'm not full time on this set, but I literally remember just being like, how did we not make sure he like did not come back? Yeah. I'm like, how did he get called back to this?
And that's one thing. I don't know if it was like our ADs or not like passing on the message to Central, or sometimes Central will like get the messages and not necessarily do anything about it, and like not take the time. But somehow he was back.
Oh, so he's back, and I'm like, shit. And Jessica and I are both just like, all right, you got to do this, and this. And we had another PA who was there, and basically what happened that day is I knew the second that came on to fill in.
The additional second.
Yeah. And then he had you doing some other stuff. What were you doing?
I think I was setting.
You were setting. And so I was doing some more other setting with background. So he was just like, I'll give you a bigger role. Jess has to focus on this. You kind of take over this part of her job and learn and figure it out, which is great. But this guy was like in my group,
and he was like a fresh face to like at least to the days of Agua Dulce.
Oh yeah. This AD was a fresh face, and I was like,
well, and the other PA too, right?
Oh,
he wasn't there before, was he?
No, and then
I know we had worked with him before, but he wasn't there.
So there's this new AD who's giving me this responsibility. Then there's this other PA who was just brought on, also just kind of like not realizing when to stop talking, or when he is actually not needed. And so the AD's like, not the AD, but the second, the one I'm talking about, he was just like, hey, do this, Hannah, get this set. So I'm setting it all up, and I have that one background who's like, he's like talking to me, he's already just getting started, and I look at him and I was just like, I'm not ready for you yet, like to place him basically. And I was like, I'm just going to need you to hold on a minute. And I was just very stern, and then I like looked away. And then this fucking PA who just got in, he's all like, he pulls me aside and he's like, hey, Hannah, I understand why you would get a little frustrated with this guy, but you were just a little curt, and I think you just need to be a little nicer or whatever. And it's like his first day. And I look at him and I was like, you don't understand the issues we've had with him. I was like, you do not get it. And he was like, oh, and I was like, we've had a ton of issues, and he wasn't supposed to come back. And he was just like, oh, well, I was like, I'm a nice person. I was like, I am so nice.
Probably like the nicest. If Hannah snaps at you, you fucking fucked up.
like multiple times.
I am
multiple
so
times, and then some.
Cool to people, like even when they fuck up. And so it's just like, when he was coming, I was like, you don't know me, bitch. I was like,
You don't
I
get
was
it.
like, you can have him. I said, like, you take care of him today.
That is your
Because
whole job today.
This
Yeah.
PA was also moving people around that I had already set and moving them to different spots. And the second AD was just like, hey man, like, had to talk to this PA and be like, hey man, Hannah's doing that.
Yeah.
And then he would go to that second and ask him something. He's like, I don't know, man. Go ask Hannah. She's in charge of it.
Yeah.
And I was like,
This toxic
PA,
masculinity.
this PA in this background. I was like, you guys go sit in the
Have each
corner.
other. Fucking have each other.
Go make out and like do your thing. And like, I'll deal with this. Oh,
Yeah.
so annoying.
But it was perfect pairing.
it really was.
It
I was
actually worked.
this
Did they
works
get
out.
along and just talk the whole time? Probably.
I don't know.
I don't know.
that-
Gave him something to do. Give them both
They
something to
both
do for
had
a little
just
bit.
too many questions. Like an AED would like be over walkie and that PA would be like, so what flavor would you like? It's like, no, just to get, oh my God, our AD needed emergency. And he was like, well, we have orange at the medic, but in my car, I have these 3 flavors.
Like over one.
over walkie, over one. And the AD is like, fuck off.
Yeah.
And like, I already had it by that time. I was like, and then he was like, no, let me walk it over to her. I was like, all right, asshole, do it. Go walk it over to her. I don't need that recognition.
Ew.
You do it.
It's stupid. I want to know who this person is once we're done recording.
Oh
That's
my God.
fucking
All I
gross.
know is he works.
Oh, I'll tell you more stories about this stuff. Because we have more. But anyways, I mean, I think after that, everything was okay.
Yeah, it was like a messy.
No more drunk people. I thought there were multiple drunk people.
There
was
was
2 on
Amy,
day
was
one.
the 2, but
yeah.
yeah, no, I think that was kind of. I mean, it was just kind of like a messy. It got cold again and stuff, but it wasn't.
But we had like infrastructure.
Yeah.
It was fine.
It was just.
was
it was
manageable.
like, oh, we were a little behind, but that was just nature of the beast. It wasn't anything like.
Yeah. It was agua dulce. Dear God.
Oh my God,
Please,
so
never
sorry.
again.
That was so long. I forgot about all of that.
Yeah.
Not frightening enough for you?
Want more tips and tricks or treats?
Then don't be a stranger.
Bring your haunting presents over to our petrifying Patreon for more at patreon.com/oldgirlsentertainment.
Happy hauntings.
Ha 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 ha.